Welcome, it's good to have you here with us at Somaliland National Television. I'm Mohammed Aden here with the English Bulletin. Let's take a look at the main stories making headlines. Somaliland President holds meeting with several governors and mayors. Minister of Education lays down a foundation stone at a public school set to open in Farawayne. Somaliland President Ahmed Mohamed Mohamud Silanyo held meeting at his office with mayors of various cities and governors. To discuss improving delivery of public service, Presidential Press Secretary Hussein Adan Ige and the Minister of Interior held a joint press conference to inform reporters about the meeting held. Hussein Adan Ige, the Presidential Press Secretary, speaking to reporters at the Palace of Presidency, stated that the meeting was designed to focus issues related to ways of strengthening cooperation between mayors and governors of all regions to further progress delivery of public service to nationals residing throughout the nation. Minister of the Interior Ali Mohammed Waran Ade expressed delight towards the meeting, which is crucial in addressing key issues of huge importance for nationwide development. Minister Waran Ade stressed that the meeting was also significantly focused on increased inflation as the Somaliland shillings continues to decrease value against the dollar. A committee has been established designated by the government to provide recommendations on the extent inflation rates are able to influence lives of nationals. Following assessment, the government would promptly take steps necessary. It is not the first time President Ahmed Silanyo invites governmental dignitaries for such a meeting. On the contrary, the President continues to hold constant meetings with public figures. Recently, the President's meeting with Cabinet Ministers resulted in approving a several-point discussion on travel ease between Somaliland and the neighbouring nation, Somalia. Minister of Education and Higher Studies has laid down the foundation stone for a school set to open in Farawayne district, which sought to provide a free-of-charge education to residents there. The minister spoke at the event, highlighting the instrumental role the establishment of the school will play in enhancing the knowledge of students residing in Farawayne and its vicinity. The Somaliland Minister of Education and Higher Studies stated that improvement of public education enables nations to reach goals regarding socio-economic growth and training their youths in making endeavours good for their nations. Minister of Education and Higher Studies urged residents in Farawayne to increase efforts in educating their children to prosper the district's residents and the country as a whole. Keynote speakers at the event, including cultural leaders and residents, collectively underscored the importance paying heed to the efforts of the current administration in maintaining quality of education provided to students while increasing quantity of public schooling institutions. Esteemed guests at the event admired the increased dedication of the Ministry of Education, urging citizens to provide relentless assistance in ensuring progress at the national education system. Since the current administration came to power, a number of public schools have opened throughout the Somaliland regions, providing citizens access to a free-of-charge education. The Director of Private Schooling Institutions for the Ministry of Education and Higher Studies supervised several schools where students are sitting their midterm examination. The Director, speaking following a follow-up supervision, reiterated that Ministry of Education and Higher Studies embarked on efforts at unifying both public and private schooling institutions in terms of yearly midterm and final exams. Achievements have been made as these stepped-up efforts brought up fruitful results, and all private schools began to obey the rules laid down by the ministry. Cooperation between officials of the Ministry of Education and private schools has been strengthened in order to further improve relations and the mutual goal of standardizing schooling education. The Ministry of Education previously achieved conducting a contemporary co-education system at all schools throughout Somaliland that eventually led schooling institutions to enroll as many as thousands of female students every year. Keynote speakers representing several private schools expressed admiration for the commitment and dedication of the Ministry of Education, aiming to provide all citizens countrywide a better and standardized education system. Officials of private schooling institutions pledged to provide increased cooperation to the Ministry of Education to contribute to the overall development of the country. Egal International Airport continues to provide improved services ever since the airport was renovated. As many as thousands of people continue to arrive at the airport's arrival terminal. A Yan taxi, which provides transport service for people arriving at Egal International Airport, displayed new identities from which cabs can be recognized among other vehicles. A representative speaking for the taxi company informed media about the service they provide to people arriving at Egal International Airport, who may not have access to drive individually run vehicles. The taxi company has for the first time used an identity of which people will be able to recognize the taxi vehicles among others, using the roads throughout the capital. The taxi cooperatives have been able to run this business in a more favorable platform, charging their clientele a payable amount of money. That's it for this edition of the English News. From me and the rest of the team, thank you for joining us. Catch us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, take care and goodbye.